What does Hinduism have to offer us as individuals? Hinduism offers us the idea of one causative force, having an essence, a soul, and the connection of the causative force and our souls. In short, Hinduism offers each of us as individuals the concept of being a piece of something greater than ourselves. Hinduism offers us the concept of each of us being significant, if for no other reason than we are part of the causative force. As such, we have no choice but to demand to be treated accordingly. Likewise, you would have no other option than to recognize the same is true of others if they have to have an essence, a soul. It is too is part of the causative force and therefore must demand to be treated as the causative force. In addition, we all must protect each other. For what other opinion would we have other than to protect the creator of our universe, the causative force herself? And so in this there is a element of monotheism within Hinduism, which recognizes the soul and the causative force as being vitally connected. And the other monotheistic Abrahamic religions tend to focus on separation of these two in a substance, dualism, whereas the monotheistic element within Hinduism does not do this. There is no separation between soul or Atman and Brahman, or the absolute causative force, or God. Imagine a society where people are no longer looked upon as just people, but rather as portions of the causative force. Abuse of any kind would no longer just be irrational, but would be totally unacceptable. Elimination of abuse and suffering would become a primary objective of people in society with this perceptual shift. Welfare running rampant? No, this does not imply that everything would be given free of charge to the individual, for this only lowers the individual's value to society to the lowest level possible, the level of worthlessness. The environment, which is a place for people to travel, would no longer be a place for people to travel, but would now be understood to be a place for the causative force to travel. For people would be understood to be nothing other than pieces of God, or the causative force. As such, the environment could no longer logically be abused, polluted, destroyed, for in our minds and thoughts we would see it as belonging not to us, but to others as well as to the causative force. In this perceptual shift, rampant individualism, or the exaltation of the individual self, apart from the whole of the causative force, would be a thing of the past. This is not implying that a person is the causative force. Saying that a person is the causative force would deny the existence of the causative force. For she would be no greater than you. To declare yourself to be the causative force in total, or God, would deny other people the recognition of a soul, a portion of the causative force. To declare yourself to be the causative force, or the God, would be to diminish the causative force to your level of power, presence, and knowledge. What significance does Hinduism have to offer us as a species? Hinduism offers us two basic concepts, the eternal spirit and natural order. What is the difference between natural order and eternal spirit? Hinduism would imply that eternal spirits exist both within this universe and outside the universe. If such is the case, could there be any denying that you have an eternal existence? With this comes some form of significance in terms of our connection to eternity. If we have some form of significance to eternity, we have a responsibility not only as individuals or souls, but just as importantly as a species, for the summation of us as individuals is what we have to offer as a species. This implies that we as a species must demand to be treated with respect due the causative force. If and when we encounter some form of alien life within the heavens, no amount of intimidation by such a life form, regardless of its apparent advanced forms of technology, knowledge, or wisdom, can allow us to deny our uniqueness and purpose in existence within this universe. Hinduism offers us hope in terms of having a significance for existing as a species. Our significance as a species, and therefore as individuals, to that of impacting upon the causative force herself, requires us to demand respect from others and for others. Panentheism, supported by Hinduistic ideas, which indeed dates back thousands of years, predating the monotheistic Abrahamic religions, established the concept that we as a species must never submit, must never allow ourselves to be subjected by other life forms, earthbound or otherwise. Likewise, we must extend the same respect to other life forms. What we do not extend to others, we cannot expect to be extended to ourselves. This could put us as a species in a very difficult situation someday. And just what types of situations could occur that would prove to be threatening to our very existence as a species? How about the cloning of genetically superior life forms other than our own? How about the creation of artificial intelligent androids that may be far superior than ourselves in terms of intelligence, expanding our perceptions of the size or location of the causative force, or God, to the size of the causative force the Hindus have to offer us, would be beneficial for all life forms in the universe, including our own.